Hey everybody, good afternoon to you. I'm meteorologist Leslie Hudson for MyRadar. Time now is just about 5:10 Eastern Time. It is another gorgeous day here in the southeast, but there's still some weather that we've been tracking throughout the day today. We have started a new series where we go live every Tuesday afternoon just to kind of get you an update what the weather's going to look like this week. A couple of things we are going to be tracking for you. So let's take a quick look at the app and we'll show you what's been going on. So we are looking still across the southeastern part of the country. I've got the jet stream turned on, the upper air pattern, because I wanted to kind of show you this dip and this trough that's up here across the North Dakota, South Dakota region in the high plains. So that's going to be pumping in some serious weather changes for the Great Lakes in the coming days, but there's still a little bit of snow in parts of Colorado. Now, of course, it is March 30th, just one day left of this month to go before we kick into high gear with April, but you know what? It is still high season for skiers, and that is where we're going to find our very own Aaron Jajak. He is over at Eldora Mountain, that's in Nederland, Colorado. And Aaron, I know that you had to come down the mountain just a bit to get some better cell service, but how is the snow looking out there?
Yeah, it looks beautiful. I've been in the trees of southeast United States here the last couple of weeks, so it's a little bit of a different view here with the snow on the ground. And we did indeed get a little bit more snow last night down the mountain a little bit. It was only about maybe like a half inch of snow or so. But as you can see, there's still plenty of snow here back behind me and on the mountain. It is starting to melt. The temperatures are a few degrees above freezing here. And, you know, you've got this strong, almost April sun that's quickly melting the snow here. But there is still snow skiing. The parking lot was packed. Lots of skiers up there enjoying. It's beautiful weather to ski in, actually, when it's a little bit warm here, just above freezing.
Well, it looks beautiful there. You know, the mountains out in the Rockies are so picturesque and it's such a beautiful vantage point. But I want to take us back to last Thursday, March 25th, a super busy, long day for you, Aaron. You were chasing the tornado outbreak across the southeast, and in particular, Alabama, which saw some incredible damage with some very powerful tornadoes. Now, the National Weather Service has officially come in with their survey. We're going to talk a little bit about this Brent, Alabama tornado. Tell us about this and what you were going, we're showing the damage video, not the actual tornado itself, just so you know. So the day after when you went and put the drone up to show the video. So tell us a little bit about this event.
Yeah, so it was a high-risk event. I think people are pretty well aware. There was a significant severe weather outbreak, tornado outbreak in the southeast there, and I was chasing in the Alabama area. Had been in the Birmingham area, and I was watching supercells off to my southwest, starting to really start to rotate, come together, and look like they were going to potentially put down some nasty tornadoes through the area. So I worked my way down to the Brent area and got in front of the path of that tornado. And looking at it on radar, it's very intimidating to look at that storm on radar. You had the classic hook echo look to it. Looking at the velocity scans, you could see a couplet. So it was very obvious that there was a likely tornado on the ground. And when I got to Brent, I dropped a couple of miles south of Brent and was able to get the drone up in the air to take a look at the storm. And I could see that it was a very mean-looking storm. One of the nastiest storms I've seen. A big CG lightning dropping out of the front of the storm ahead of the tornado. And it was using the drone, I was able to see it. I'd probably have to go a couple more miles to the south to get into the path to make that intercept. And I got down a couple of miles to the south there, and the tornado passed by right in front of me, right where I was at, across the road. It was a massive rain-wrapped tornado, so it was very hard to actually tell it was even a tornado to the untrained eye. But to me, it was quite obvious with this big rain cloud circling around. And I crossed the road. I could see power flashes. I had to actually move out of the way a little bit to make sure I wasn't in the tornado, and it moved through the area, and I immediately returned back to where it crossed and performed search and rescue for some of these areas that you're seeing here in the drone video. And luckily there was no injuries or fatalities from this tornado, but widespread damage. It had a mile-wide path, up to 1.3 miles wide at its largest width. It was on the ground for 98 minutes, and it crossed 80 miles through Alabama. So it was a monster tornado that moved through Alabama.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on those stats that you just were talking about from the National Weather Service, because there was some thinking that it was on the ground even longer than that. That debris field that we were showing with the correlation coefficient in our computers was showing that debris ball lofted for multiple counties. But oftentimes people are so quick to put a number on them, Aaron, and we officially got the word that was an EF3 yesterday from the National Weather Service because they had to go out and survey 80 miles of damage and take a look at the swath. So your video is incredible from the drone there showing those snap trees. And we're hoping we're going to be in a little bit of a break. April tends to be the more violent month, as you know, with the more deadlier tornadoes in the plains, and into May, of course, is where we tend to look at these storms. So we're hoping that you're going to get a bit of a break here, and then going to be going full bore in the second half of the month, if not sooner, and into May.
Yeah, that's right. I'll take a couple of weeks break here and recharge and get this. We haven't hit even peak season yet for severe. We're for the southeast, it's generally a little earlier in spring here that you see those big tornadoes like we're seeing now. But as the season progresses through April through May, that shifts more to your traditional plains, severe weather setups, all the way up to the Canadian prairie. So I'll take a couple of weeks break, rest up, and then I'll be back out, chasing down these storms and trying to get that footage for the MyRadar followers.
Well, you've done an incredible job for us, Aaron. It has just been stunning, this new drone that you've had. It was the maiden voyage on this EF3, and the video was just absolutely spectacular. We thank you so much for stopping in today. I know you're headed back up to Manitoba to your family up in Canada, so we hope you guys get a nice little break here from what hopefully Mother Nature will give us a break all around across the lower 48. So since you're in Colorado, I want to show one of our weather stem cameras, and thanks again, Aaron, for stopping by and talking to us. Safe travels back to Canada, by the way. We want to show one of our weather stem, absolutely, one of our weather stem cameras. This is in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and this is from the Kilo FM radio station. And as you take a look here from our live stream, there is another beautiful vantage point here with beautiful blue sky across that area of Colorado. So as Aaron mentioned, there's probably still maybe another week or two that these skiers can get out there. Might get a little slushy and maybe a little icy in some of those areas if they get another round of cold weather. But certainly there's some still snow to be had in that area. And then we're going to flip sides and go over to the East Coast now. This is over in Boston College at the Gasson's Sky Camera. And just wanted to show you this from Boston College. Again, a beautiful picturesque Tuesday afternoon. A lot of kids in the colleges are out for spring break. Of course, they're being urged not to collect into groups, but hopefully they're enjoying the weather there in the northeastern part of the country. The weather picture, as I mentioned, after a rough start has started to look a little better. But let me show you some video from that tornado outbreak in Nashville, Tennessee. You guys, this looks like Armageddon almost, but really what it is a rain shaft with an incredible amount of hail in this. This was in downtown Nashville last Thursday, and inside that rain core was ping pong ball size hail. The folks that live in the downtown Nashville area reported the hail was for about 30 minutes at that size of a hailstone. So that's really big stuff, and that was just the indicator of all that turbulence in the atmosphere. Our next video is over in Black Forest, Colorado. We're back out there to the skiers getting a fresh round. This is that snow from this morning that I grabbed off of Twitter. So there's still, as I mentioned, still a little bit of snow falling on the ground and some of the upper elevations. And then our last video is in Gardenville, Texas. They had a haboob last week, which is a fancy word for a big windstorm, and it was very dry in this area of Texas. So the haboobs can form in this area of the country and parts of Arizona and New Mexico relatively easily because of that vast expanse of open terrain there. But certainly they had some limited visibilities from that particular system. So as we take a look at our live radars, as I'm happy to tell you, there's not a whole lot going on. We are watching some things. So we're looking down across the south again today because that's kind of the game in town in terms of showers and storms. As we take a look at the satellite and radar over the last 24 hours, you can see those storms moving off nicely across the Atlantic seaboard. So building behind this is going to be a dome of high pressure. You can see there's another line of storms just passing through St. Louis down into Nashville later tonight and into Birmingham. There is a risk, by the way, for tomorrow for severe storms. I'll show you that in just a second. But futurecasts as we head into the day tomorrow morning, showers and storms through Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee as that squall line pushes towards the east. And there's going to be some snow on the backside of that. So folks are going to be dealing with colder weather soon as they get done with the severe weather. So temperatures expected to plummet in this area of the country. You can see some snow there on the futurecast. That'll move through the Ohio Valley and then up into the northeastern part of the country in the coming days. So in terms of the risk factor, we're at a slight risk for that area shaded in yellow. So that's about 7 million people at a slight risk, about 31 million people at the marginal additional risk. And as Aaron alluded to, this is still an area we look for storm coverage, severe storms. And then as we get into April and May, that shifts further back towards the central plains, but still a focus for us in these next couple of weeks. So we're going to keep a close eye on all these storms as they head off into the southeastern part of the country. There's that frontal boundary that's going to bring in the change in the weather as we head into tomorrow. And again, some snow filling in behind it. There'll be a little bit of a freezing mix through parts of New York, Pennsylvania. New England state's going to have some good old-fashioned rain, and that will switch over to some snow as well as we head into the second half of this week and headed into the weekend. Well, as you know, or hopefully you know, it is Severe Weather Week here at MyRadar. We have been showcasing weather hazards every day. And today, meteorologist Mike Linden talked to the National Weather Service in Melbourne specifically about watches and warnings. And so we hope that you've tuned into that. You can look at his coverage and talk about how they survey the damage from these severe storms in the app, as well as on all of our social media platforms. Tomorrow, our series will be showcasing Aaron, as a matter of fact, and some of his more notable chases this year. So we hope you will tune into him. He's got some really good information on his storm chases and kind of an unpacked Aaron Jack that we'll hope you guys will enjoy. Then I'll be continuing the series with tropical flooding, and we'll end the series with Mike with extreme weather hazards, including winter wildfires and other weather hazards as well. So make sure you're tuning in to all the social media pages. We're pushing that out for you as we head into these next couple of days, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. There's a look at the promo there, so you can see the highlights that we'll be talking about in these coming days as well. So one more thing that we want to let you know about before we get out of here. We wanted to kind of let you know about some interesting weather that you may or may not know about. And I couldn't understand what you were saying, if we do have the did you know or if we don't. But I don't see it in the preview, so maybe we don't. But what you can do is check our social media pages, because we got some really cool tips. One yesterday we highlighted about lightning, that it's actually as thick as the hair on your head. We've also got one today about Jupiter. There it is, that the Jupiter's great red spot is considered a hurricane. You may or may not have known that. It spins counterclockwise on Jupiter with winds near 275 to 425 miles an hour. The tropical cyclones on Earth only extend up about 10 miles, and top winds on a Cat 5 are about 156. So this is a big super hurricane, if you will, on the planet of Jupiter, but nonetheless pretty interesting to see. All right, before we scoot out of here, Feel Good Friday time. And again, we want to show you one more little piece of video, or actually it's a picture that I grabbed off of Twitter earlier today to hopefully get you in a good mood. And with Easter just around the corner, of course, NASA getting in on the fun. Did you know that Perseverance still has 2 Easter eggs aboard the craft? So they're going to reveal where those Easter eggs have been hidden on Easter Sunday. They have invited folks to get to social media and see if they can solve the mystery where those 2 Easter eggs are. And if you know, by all means, get on the websites and on Twitter, and you can hopefully have some fun with NASA and the folks as they get going towards the Sunday reveal of those Easter eggs. All right, you guys, that is going to do it for our live update here in Orlando for today. Our time now is about just a little bit past 5 o'clock. It's not 6 a.m. like my clock says, 5:22 Eastern time. And again, thanks for stopping in with us. And make sure you check out all of our social media channels. You know where they are: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. We're trying to get a good following with subscribers there. We would love for you to subscribe to our channel. That way you know when we drop new content. All right, you guys, that'll do it for this Tuesday. Have a great day, and we will see you back here real soon.
But it's absolutely necessary.